I'm on a quest to find music and art. Supporting local talent is the place I start. Yeah, this is our culture, the place to be. Games, books, arts and crafts and jewelry. This the Guardians of the Geekery. 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 And now for today's episode of Guardians of the Geekery with your hosts, Matt, Carol, and Joey.
Oh my gosh, Guardians of the Geekery are back. Another Geekery Market edition. Geekery Market coming at you Saturday, November 21st, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And of course, we're raising we would like you to donate non-perishable food items in lieu of cash or credit. So basically, a free event. We call it the free Geekery Market. How about that?
Yeah, and it's at Cabarrus Arena and Event Center. In case
Absolutely.
3,000 parking spaces, 30,000 square feet of geeky awesome. You do have to pay for parking, but it's $10. You can't pay $10 for uptown parking. It's
That's right.
15 or 20. So pile a bunch of people in the car. It'll be $2 a piece. It'll be great.
Get one of those clown cars off Facebook Marketplace and just load it up, baby. Yeah, come on.
I've got a mini. I've got a mini. We can play like challenge mode.
That's right. How many people can you stuff in a Fiat? Come on.
Do you remember doing that? Like, how many people can you stuff in a phone booth for
We used to do VW bugs because three of my friends had VW bugs.
And then you had to put the car like this.
Yep.
Thankfully, my friends never got into that, and my dignity was saved from that episode at least.
Matt, I'm sorry I cut you off. Introduce our guest, please.
Oh no, this is a great conversation. Yeah, and I didn't get into that cramming people in there either. I got into recreational drugs and alcohol use. Oh no, sorry. No, that was
sorry if your children are listening.
Yeah, we'll edit that out probably. I don't edit that heavily. Yeah, so Falstaff Books. We've got the awesome Theresa Glover with us. Come on, everybody. And if you've gone to any events in the Southeast and anywhere really in the United States, you have seen Theresa. She is what keeps Mr. John Hartness going.
Let's not say that. Let's say at least generally in the right direction at generally the right time.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
She is the long-range herder. She has to balance that fine line between keeping him roped in but energized, which is a difficult balance.
Yeah.
So,
it's really not because
Mountain Dew. So
yeah, I was gonna say it's really pretty simple. Mountain Dew, Reese's peanut butter cups, and a sandwich here and there, and we're generally pretty good to go.
Yeah.
He is a cat, so I'm a professional cat herder.
Yes.
There you go.
He is.
I need to hire you for my
But here from Falstaff Books. And Theresa, how long have you been part of Falstaff Books now?
Oh God. Well, I wasn't there right at the beginning, so it's going to be a little less than 10 years because this year is Falstaff Books' 10th anniversary. We've been doing this for a hot minute now. But I wasn't too far along down the line. I kind of got sideswiped into
first year or so, right?
Yeah. It all started at a convention, and John had to go to the bathroom and needed a human to sit at his table. And since I had read all of his stuff, I was in the process of selling it to somebody when he came back, and then I've just kind of stayed behind the table since then.
He just packed you up with the books and kept you.
Yeah, pretty much. And then he realized that, that chick that walks around with a big ass backpack that's full of snacks and food and can actually tell me where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there is useful. So I'm going to take her with me when I go places.
And quick raise of hands. Who else met John at a con? I think we all
I did. Yeah, we all did. I mean,
that's how
Carolinas.
you meet John. Yeah. Either
John
that or at a Magic the Gathering tournament. It's one of those two places. So.
Yep. And he is moving, so that's why he's not able to appear this time. So y'all got me.
And I am okay with it being you. It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I am now officially the associate publisher. For the longest time, I was just kind of the woman behind the man behind the curtain.
The
But
general
I do have,
lackey.
yeah, the major misfit.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
know, but no, over the past, I guess about a year ago, became the associate publisher. So I've gotten my fingers even deeper into the pies that we have going on and all the fun stuff that we're planning. And I am typically the one who is gathering all the convention information and going, "Hey, John, we should go to this one," or "Hey, John, have you ever thought about going to Connecticut?" And that kind of thing.
No, that's cool.
Admit it, you just want to go to those cons yourself, and this is an easy way to get there.
Yes, and
And
well, one of the things that we've been working on is because, like you said, we're all over the Southeast. We've done a lot of the regional conventions. So everybody in the area tends to know who we are, at least once they start seeing some of the familiar titles like Quincy Harker Demon Hunter or the Bubba the Monster Hunter series or like AJ Hartley's Hideki Smith Demon Queller books. Like they start to see familiar things and they're like, "Oh yeah, I got this from you at this other show." And that's how we talk about getting them into the next one in this series. But we didn't have a lot of presence outside of the Southeast. So we've started branching out a little bit more. We've done StokerCon a couple of times. We have been to Connecticut. I have. And we were just in, oh, I'm going to get it wrong. It's one of the P cities in Pennsylvania. And I
Pittsburgh
can
or
never,
Pittsburgh or
Philadelphia.
I think it's Pittsburgh. I can never remember which one is which. I get them confused. But we were up
I think
there
it's
this
like
year.
the engineer town. Philadelphia is like the Liberty Bell town
yeah.
and
Yeah,
all
it's
of
the engineer town. Yep.
that.
Okay, so it's Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, my brain does not differentiate between those two.
Yeah,
It doesn't work
Pittsburgh
that way.
has
So,
Five Rivers Stadium, and I've been stuck on that bridge, or Three Rivers, whatever. There's a bunch of
mhm.
It's Three
river
Rivers.
stadium.
Yeah.
I got stuck on that bridge for 2 hours with a stick shift. So my
Oh
feet were
God.
Oh,
so sore trying to keep it from stalling out
yeah, for sure.
1 year. So I know the stadium well. I from the outside, I've seen it. How many rivers it was, I lost count. So
Yeah.
but my people are from there. I
Yeah.
have people from there. We call them
So
the
we're slowly reaching out into other areas. We'll do one far flung from our region con every year. Um, so this year it was StokerCon. We'll see what happens next year.
Yeah, yeah. So no, I think that's good. And I think, you know, I feel like, John and his series and stuff like that
Mhm.
is something best experienced in person as
It
well.
Yes.
is.
He
It
is
is.
a force of nature and it's
Absolutely.
wonderful. But you have, along with being the person with the snacks and all that
Hmm.
kind of stuff, and the cat herder, you've also
Hmm.
written your own books,
Absolutely.
and
Well,
those
see,
also there.
the way that I kind of got into that was I was reading so much of Falstaff stuff that I knew most of it better than John because he had other people editing the stuff. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I read that one. And, oh yeah, I read that one too." And yeah, I read that one too. So it's kind of a toss up between him and I now to see who's read more. But because I was so invested in the different stories and the lines and especially when the branching out of the Bubba the Monster Hunter universe and the Quincy Harker universe started to happen, I was like, hey, I got an idea. And I was able to pull from all of these other writers and lay Easter eggs in the stories that I wrote for Caitlin Kelly Monster Hunter, who is a female monster hunter in New Orleans feeling burnt out, decided that she wanted a vacation. And the minute she gets to New Orleans, work calls. And that's when I really start messing with her and her love life. It's a hot mess, disaster bisexual storyline, super fun, has the sense of humor along the lines of Bubba the Monster Hunter, but sounds a lot more snarky like Quincy Harker. So they kind of fall right between the two.
Yeah, and for those who are not familiar, Bubba the Monster Hunter, Quincy Harker, there are other authors within the
Yes.
Falstaff family that have played in that same exact universe. So it's kind of like knowing where the crossover specials used to happen on Friday nights on, must-see TV.
Yeah.
And
Before the
all
MCU. Before the
Yeah.
MCU, there was Falstaff.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And just like the MCU, you can watch the series individually, but you're going to get the in-jokes a little bit deeper and go, I got that reference, if you've read all of the ones that go along with it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, which is really kind of fun. And it's one of the things that I love about the Falstaff family, which we often refer to them as the island of misfit toys.
Yep. It's all the stuff you always wanted to read, but didn't know where exactly to find it in the bookstore, because a lot of our authors like to play with genre mixing, and they'll play with tropes. Like, one of my favorite pitches to give at the table is for Children of Menlo Park by Jessica Nettles. And I tell people, I'm like, okay, if you don't know what you want to read, let me pitch you the weirdest thing I've got on the table and buckle up. And they look at me like, what's going on? And then I tell them, okay, so Mark Twain and Nikola Tesla get together with the First Lady Pinkerton to fight Cthulhu after Edison summons it. And I get the blank stare and the blink blink, and I'm like, just give me $20.
But the whole Falstaff family I'm from New England originally, and so I grew up with the stories about how, like, that writers group would hang out together and stuff like that. And it's similar to what you heard about with the London with, Mary Shelley and, and all of those folks hanging
and Lord
out
Byron
and creating stories.
Probably less sex. I would assume there's less sex.
Very much less. Yeah, I would really hope so. I am not involved if there is any, but yeah.
I mean, let's face it, Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein so she didn't have to have another three-way with Lord Byron.
And really, who could blame her?
Nobody could blame her.
Nobody.
I'd rather write Frankenstein than that as well.
I'd rather write a lot of different things than that.
Rather write bad Percy Shelley poetry than that.
But at least it's just that whole vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And we bounce ideas off of each other all the time. Like, we have conversations at dinner at cons, and somebody will say, oh, hey, I'm working on this thing, and I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if you, and then it goes off in a direction, and things start to escalate and spiral, and all of a sudden there's an anthology being published. Or the trajectory of somebody's story has incredibly changed, but for the better, because we're all sitting there spitballing and building each other's stories up and kind of poking where the holes are to make it stronger.
Yeah. And and it's a mixture. It's not just sci-fi. It's not just fantasy. And there are also biographies. You have, like, Mikey Mason's biography and other things. And, there is really...
There's like a
truly
mini something for everybody.
I mean,
it is truly like a little mini bookstore.
Yeah, it is. How many book titles are you even up to these days?
I know it's over 300, but I don't know what the exact total is.
Yeah.
So in 10 years, it's over 300 books that we've published. And we specialize in the speculative fiction umbrella. So anything that's sci-fi, fantasy, horror, variations thereof, urban fantasy, trying to think of some of them to make sure. We do have different one-offs, like the Mikey Mason one that you mentioned is a special edition because he's one of the frequenters of the area cons that we go to and a friend of the press, and he does really cool filk, which is like almost like folk music. And the songs that he was talking about, he would tell the stories in his concert, but we took it a little bit further and he wrote the story behind the songs. So you've got that insider look into these really fun songs, like Look at My Butthole, which is a song about a cat. Of course it is.
Of course.
Yes.
Best game ever.
So, I got to ask the controversial questions.
Ask.
Are there any dogs represented in any of your books? Because I know you're also a friend of Matt Dinneman of the, Dungeon Crawler Carl series and stuff like that. We know that John is a fast cat himself, but he also is a cat person with multiple
Absolutely.
cats. And, I know Carol is also a cat person and stuff like that. But
I really enjoy cats, but I prefer breathing. So if
Yeah.
I were to have a four-legged friend, it would most likely be a dog. Caitlin does acquire a dog in the third story in the Caitlin Kelly Monster Hunter book series. So
well, there you go.
there will be more about that, but I'm not going to give anything away.
Yeah, it's gonna be some kind of flirkin, isn't it? So
I didn't say that.
too funny, too funny. So what books will you have that will be new for the Geekery market? I mean, I know you publish 30 a year, so
We're going to have several. I don't know which ones will all hit, but I do know of one that is very special. It is written by A.J. Hartley. It's called Cold Bath Street. This story has previously been published, but it was only published in the UK. So
Oh.
we are coming out with the first US edition of the story. And for those who don't know, it is a story written for kind of a young adult type age where the protagonist is, I think, 9 or 10 years old, and he wakes up and he's not alive anymore.
No.
He's stuck between the land of the living and the dead, and in order to get through what's happening to him, he has to face his biggest fear, which is this street called Cold Bath Street. And this entire story is kind of an homage to where AJ grew up in the UK and places in Preston that he knew as a kid show up in this novel. And the edition that we're working on will also have photographs that are done in like a sketch style as the chapter headers. So you'll see those images as you go through the book as well. So you'll see where he's talking about through this ghost story.
that's amazing.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. I've seen the interior artwork laid out for it, and it's gorgeous. And I've read the story because I was able to read the story a long time ago. And I really enjoyed it, even though it is typically written for a younger audience. It's appropriate for all ages. It's that perfect blend of spooky but not so scary. It's going to keep you up at night, but it'll give you the chills in the dark.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Well, I will look forward to that because, you have over 300 titles and I've probably owned about 295 of them.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I've sold you most of them.
Most of them, yep. One of the things I love about going to the table is you seem to remember what I don't have or what I have and don't have.
It's
better
more
than
along,
I do.
It's more along the lines of, okay, when did I last see Carol? What's new since
What's
then?
new?
Yeah, because Carol is famous for saying, I'm not buying any books.
Any books, except these 6.
Except for, maybe these... like 3, and I do want to go check out this. And
no, see, what happens to Carol is she'll come up. I'm like, oh, hey, Carol, how's it going? Oh, it's good. She's looking at the table, and I'm like, I'm not going to sell her anything because she's already told me she's not buying anything. She's like, oh, is this new? I'm like, yep, that one's new, and so is this one over here. Oh, I'm not going to buy anything. Just hold these for me. I'll set them back there for her. She comes back like 2 hours later. There's 2 more for the stack. And she comes back another hour later. There's another one for the stack. And when she leaves, it's the only 15 books she's bought all weekend, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I famously went to Con Carolinas this year for an hour and a half and walked out with 7 books.
Yeah. And I think I sold you 2 of them.
Yep.
Yeah. She looks for my chair, and when she sees my chair coming around, she'll be like, put these away. I'll be back. Because she tells me
motorized.
Not to buy stuff.
Hey, this last convention, I only bought 1. And you bought the other 4 for me. So.
Well, yeah.
Because I bought
ended up with 5.
So
I will say that I am very good at selling things I enjoy. And I am responsible for a lot of the poor financial decisions my friends make when it comes to
Yeah.
books.
Yes, this is true. But it's a good thing. It's a good
But
thing.
is
I
buying a
literally
book
sent some.
ever a poor financial decision? I can't.
No.
I
I
can't.
I
have
don't think
read
so.
some that were just kind of mid, and I've said, okay, if you like the concept of this one, don't buy this one, go buy this one because it did it better. So
Yeah,
I'm helping.
yeah,
I'm helping.
yeah.
Yes.
But the mid ones aren't at your table. They're at somebody
No,
else's
absolutely.
table.
They're
Yeah, no,
they're generally coming from New York.
yes. Yes.
Who could that be?
I don't know.
So when is your next book coming out?
Slowly,
Yeah.
I've been working on I've been working
Oh, I
on
know
a
that one.
nonfiction with John, kind of talking what we're talking about here is selling books at conventions.
Oh,
So it's basically a peek behind the curtain for how John and I do what we do at conventions and how authors need to kind of think about some of the things that we do a little deeper than what they might immediately assume. I'm hoping that I will get it done this year, but I said that last year. So,
So if you were to give one tip
mhm,
about authors and cons, what would
mhm.
be the top tip that you wish everybody would understand?
Treat people like people, not walking wallets.
yes. I have to say, it's one of the reasons why I started buying at Falstaff. Not just because the covers look pretty and I love pretty covers, but because you guys you cared about what I wanted to read. You
Yeah,
weren't just read this, read this, read this.
yeah.
Um,
Because I don't want to just sell you that one book. I want
yeah,
you to come back to me and said, the book you recommended to me based on what I told you was exactly what I wanted. Now give me more.
yeah,
And you can't do that unless you actually give a crap about what people are telling you they want to read.
Right.
Because if you're giving them something that does not fit their criteria without some kind of heads up, they're not coming back because they won't trust you.
yeah.
So I don't even try to get money from the person the first time they walk up to the table. I don't assume they're going to give me anything. I want to put a bookmark in their hand. I want to talk to them about what they like to read and point them at the right direction. And sometimes that might not even be all of our stuff. We might only have one title that would fit whatever they're looking for, but there's generally plenty of author friends in the room who will have something that much better fits what they want to read. And
Yeah.
I care more about that than I do about your $20 in that moment.
And that's why I buy at Falstaff.
And I'll even tell people, if they're looking at something and if I know their preferences well enough to know that that book is not going to be exactly to their taste, I'll tell them,
Yep.
hey, it may have this, but it's going to push your boundaries on this. So if you're not in the mood for this, I wouldn't recommend it for now. You need to be in this kind of headspace. You need to be in this kind of mood for it. I would instead recommend this to fit that desire without the boundary pushing.
Yes.
Excellent. Matt, you look like you had a question earlier, so.
No, I just I think back to the when I met John at Charlotte Comic Con, I don't know, 4 venues ago and more than a decade ago, and
It was
he
40 years ago.
yeah
Yeah, yeah.
he had maybe three books, and the way he got your attention was he'd just say, buy my
Hmm.
shit, and just to see it evolve into now, publishing, and well, luckily he's got you, Teresa, to be that associate publisher as well, and just makes me proud when we see our friends succeed and grow so much, in such a positive way for the community. It's just
Hmm.
really good, and I really really proud of you, and look forward to you expanding like you're talking about beyond the southeastern
Yeah,
market.
Yeah,
I think that really is important because there are
absolutely.
so many scenes in different places, and
hmm
I mean, and it, as you know, anytime we travel it's just like reading a book. Your mind just explodes with infinite possibilities. And so I think it's great for you, and it's great for readers in different regions to get to meet you and John and the rest of the Falstaff writing stable there, which keeps growing. So
Oh yeah.
anyway, so yeah, so that's but yeah,
Well, and it's
I'm
one
just proud.
it's
Yeah.
it's one of those things where because we have such a great community here in the Southeast, we need to foster more of that because we have authors in other areas. So like when we were at Stoker, we were able to support Von Sargent, we were able to support S. Alessandra Martin. They were up there um,
Mhm.
at the event selling books, and it was cool for them to be able to come over, oh, there's my book on the table. My publisher is here.
Yeah.
And another cool thing about conventions like that is going and talking to, and I don't mean this in a pejorative sense, a baby writer who has never been published before, having them sit down and talk to them about what they're writing and their pitch and helping them make their pitch better, even if it comes down to me saying, I love your energy, but not this book, not this time. Come back to me with your next one, that kind of thing. It's cool, and I can't get that if I'm not in that area. John can't get that if he's not there
Right.
because you have to experience Falstaff to understand it.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, I will say that one of the reasons why I ended up picking up one of John's books was because one of the panels that I attended was a round robin reading where each
Mhm,
author got to read, for 15 minutes or something
mhm.
from his book. And for those who don't know John Hartness, he has a theater background.
He's a
So,
theater kid to the
so
core.
he's got the voice, he's got the rhythm, he's got all that stuff. And some of the other people on the panels, their books were great, but their
The stage
storytelling
presence
ability,
wasn't there.
Yeah.
right. And when it's the same thing I love about Mikey Mason, and I have a story about that too, but um, is that when John started reading his book, it, I've talked about this. There used to be, it wasn't Reading Rainbow, it was another like local version. And since you're from New England, you might remember, but the guy used to draw pictures while
Yeah,
somebody else was reading the story. Yeah.
we had talked about this. This isn't one that I remember, so I think it may have been more local to
It
your
might have been
area when
local
you
to
were
New
growing up.
Hampshire or
Yeah.
Massachusetts, um, but it would just be like, oh, I want to read that book now. And that's what he did,
Yeah.
And the same thing with like Mikey. So Mikey, the first time I met him was at a Brown Coat event, which for those who aren't familiar, if you love the Firefly series, TV series, those individuals that fought were called Brown Coats, and there's groups of them all across the US and the world. But I went to an event that was local here in Charlotte and promoting my event and the Charlotte Geeks, and this was the Geek Gala back years ago when we were still doing that. And Mikey came up and said, "Hey, do you need any performers or anything?" And some people said, "Hey, you might want to talk to Joey. She might want an event." And all I saw was like the drummer from Anthrax. I was like,
I can
I
see
don't
that.
know if you're the style of what we're looking for, because
Right.
this was before his performance, right?
Hmm.
So all I'm like is like Anthrax, dude. I'm not looking for a mosh pit. I'm not looking for any of that kind of stuff. This is not what I'm trying to do. And then he performed. And like the thing I always love about Mikey is that any audience that he's in front of, within 5 minutes, he can take and get everybody in the room's attention. The vibe is immediately electric, and you know that. And the
Yeah.
same thing happens with the majority of the writers that I've read from
Hmm.
Falstaff is that you have that presence. AJ has that presence. Darren has that presence, and
Sarah Sover's another great one,
yeah,
even just based on the barest little bit of information. The title of her book is Fairy God Murder.
yeah.
Like, how can you not?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, or like Bubba the Monster Hunter
Right.
scattered, smothered, and chugged. Like
Right.
what, you know, like so.
My favorite one to do is to pick up Wrinkle in Crime, which is a collection of 4 novellas written by J.D. Blackrose. And before I even tell people what it's about, I open it to the first page and I say, just read the first line. And I'm not going to say it here because it's not appropriate for your audience. However, it's a zombie cosmetologist who has to solve crimes for the police to prove that he's not the reason bodies show up missing pieces. And he wakes up with a very important piece missing.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. There you go. Well,
so if you're interested in that zombie book, where
Yes.
can they and and you want to grab it before the market, where can they go to purchase said book?
You can get them wherever books are sold. However, if you would like to avoid the Big River store, you can buy them directly from Falstaff Books on our Shopify. Just go to falstaffbooks.com. There's a Shopify link on there. We also sell a lot of our ebooks, and we will be getting to the point where we sell audiobooks directly through our Shopify as well. So you're buying directly from the publisher and the authors rather than the billionaires.
Yes.
Or you can buy them wherever you'd like. Your local bookstore can order them for you. They will just need to order them. They won't likely be on the shelf when you get there.
unless you go to Park Road Books.
Unless you're
True.
on Park Road Books. Several
They will have it. They will
Falstaff
have a small selection. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and of course, any local events or cons that you're at, look for the
Oh
big
yeah.
Falstaff sign. It is huge.
Follow
But
us on Falstaff Books everywhere. John and Katie do an amazing job of making sure that they're announcing exactly where we're going to be. You can follow me. My work schedule is crazy, so sometimes I forget I exist and have social media. You know
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the time this comes out on the 15th of August, we will be doing a Lincolnton convention, a local Comic Con. So you can come and check us out there. And John will be doing a 1-hour talk on publishing and path to publication for new writers.
And are you guys currently accepting submissions? I know whenever you
No.
open, you get flooded. So
Yeah.
We are currently planning 2028 publications.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So we are not likely to be open in the foreseeable future. However, that doesn't mean that if we are at like a big convention, like we'll be at Dragon Con, we'll be taking pitches at the pitch panel at Dragon Con. So there is a potential that we could accept your manuscript for review at something like that. Now, if Dragon Con is too big and scary, I totally understand. It's incredibly overwhelming. You and 90,000 of your best friends in downtown Atlanta on Labor Day weekend gets a bit much. But you can follow us on our social media and look for smaller events like Con Carolinas, where we often do pitch sessions there as well. And that's when we would be open to looking at new manuscripts.
Awesome. Well, Theresa, you are a lovely, lovely guest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you have done Falstaff proud, and we're just so glad to have you not only here. Now, when the market first started, we did not accept authors. Do you remember?
No, I do. When it first started, there was a geeky franchise that shall not be named, shall we say, that was super popular, and the progenitor of that franchise was not super problematic and terrible. So we had an entire themed bookstore that sold all of the magic and wizardry and witchcraft and all the spooky stuff.
Yeah,
and it was ridiculous. It was so fun.
The only publisher I allowed to be at my event. No other authors. We didn't even do. Did we do art? We did a very limited run.
Very limited art. Yeah.
It was all crafts. But we
had to like the artist.
We had a separate little bookstore. And
we had a little room that you walked into and let me talk you out of your money.
Yes, yes, exactly. Well, and you used to do the like mystery date packages and stuff like that.
We have done those periodically. They don't do as well, because people really want to know what they are picking up, especially with our regulars, because there's a good chance they may already have
A
it.
duplicate. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't always remember who has what. There are some that I'll remember. Some people I see often enough I can remember they're in a particular series, or that they've probably picked up the most recent one. But if it's something from years ago, I'm not going to remember.
And the other thing we want to talk about just briefly is, along with Falstaff writing a book on authors and doing pitch sessions at events, you also have your own convention that you do as well.
Yes, every 2 years we do a writing convention that focuses specifically on genre fiction and the business of being a writer and the writing crafts to being a better writer. We just had one this year in Charlotte in 2026. It was amazing. We have grown such an intimate group of people that attend this. It is the coolest thing to see ever. And I'm just going to tell you this story really quick because it's amazing. So during the convention, we have a massive pitch session, because a lot of these people are coming not only to learn more about the business and craft of being a writer, but they also want to sell or practice selling their book to a publisher. So every new writer, any writer who's pitching, gets super nervous. And we had them all in a room all together. And if y'all have been to a Falstaff event, you've probably seen John's sister, Bonnie.
Yes.
She's kind of like your stereotypical Southern grandma. And she is the new writer wrangler and gets people in and out the door on time for their pitch sessions, keeps the traffic flowing and all of that. And the writers have adopted Bonnie as their grandma. She gets them all in the room and she starts them off with affirmations.
Oh my God.
It is the most precious thing I have ever seen. And so when people come back from their pitch sessions, all of the writers are applauding for each other, cheering each other on, wishing each other luck. It is adorable.
Oh, that's awesome. But it really does help with that family vibe that you've had going on.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Well, as always, we're doing the Southern goodbye, where we're 3 times we tried to close.
It happens.
One of us does it, but that's what happens. Well, we can't wait to see you soon, and we definitely can't wait to see you in November. Now, listen, if you want the book that AJ was talking about, the new book,
The Cold Bath Street with AJ, yep, that will be there for sure.
But the thing with copies of books like AJ's, when they come out, is they're very hot. So unless you're Carol and can tell Theresa to put it aside for you, you may want to go online and go ahead and purchase it off the Shopify site, and then just put in the notes that you'll be at the Geekery market, and they will bring and put them at the table for you. So that way you don't have to stress that will be sold out before you get there, because it is great holiday shopping, and a lot of those books go really fast. So,
it's always better to know you're going for a particular thing. So like Carol, you can set yourself up with expectations and then absolutely blow them out of the water.
Trash them at the door. Yep. Indeed.
All right. Well, thank you again. It was great to talk to you.
Good to talk to y'all.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
That was an episode of Guardians of the Geekery. Thank you for listening. Check us out at guardiansofthegeekery.com and stay tuned for more content.